Hi, friends. My name is Peter Rosen. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the 2022 real estate forecast, and also talk about a little bit about, what's going to happen to interest rate for next year. Before we get there, just want to talk about the health of the market right now. So, as you might know, that we have a low supply of housing available right now, and a very, very high demand. And one of the reasons for that is because, first of all, the average age of the first-time home buyers are about 33 years old, and about 30 years ago there was an influx of birth rate for about 5 6 years. So those people who were born that time, obviously they're coming out right now to buy homes. So that creates a demand. Also, the builders are still backlogged from the COVID situation. For about 3 to 6 months, or sometimes even longer, they had to shut down production. So they're still trying to catch up, and demand is still very high because of that. So overall, also the interest rates are also very low. So that creates a good market that people can, have a better payment on the housing. And also, I think another problem is that kind of created a perfect storm, if you will, is that people actually stay in their homes for much longer than before. Before, the average age, average year, they stayed about 7 years or so in the home on average, and right now they stay for about 13 years or so. So they stay in the home for longer. So obviously it doesn't create that the turnover rate. So that's a bit of an issue for the market. Now, overall, going forward for the market forecast, is overall consensus all across the board is very bullish. So there are different consensus. Zillow projecting about a 13.6% increase, Goldman Sachs about 16% increase, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae about a 7%, 7.9% increase. So overall, regardless of which economists you listen to, even the most pessimists are talking about 3 4% increase. So overall, definitely in the next year, a couple of years, the market will increase as far as the appreciation concerned. Now, another little bit of a problem, which will create some issues for the interest rate, I'll get back to you in a second, is that if you have noticed that we have a very high inflation rate right now. So the Federal Reserve, target rate was about 2%, and then they kind of avoided talking about it, even doing anything about it, because they didn't foresee that the problem is going to be so high so fast. But now the data came out, so looks like that the inflation is about 6.8% right now. So they kind of have the subtle, panic right now, and because of that, they indicating that they wanted to, suppress the inflation, and bring it to about 2% or below. So what they're going to have to do is basically increase the interest rate. Now that's a good news for inflation. So maybe the inflation is going to go down in the next year or so, but interest rate will definitely go up, and that's not an if and a but it's a when. Now the Fed, we're talking about, trying to keep the interest rate low for an extended period of time, and they were talking about, hey, they don't want to increase the interest rate until maybe the second part of next year. But obviously, the monkey wrench in the system is that inflation is very high right now, so they're going to have to address it right now. um, Kind of like a bleeding patient, right? You can't wait for the patient to bleed, so they're going to have to address it now. That means interest rate will go up. Now, there are again different consensus. How much is going to go up? How fast? We don't know for sure. There are different opinions on that. Regardless of who we listen to, we know that the rate's going to go down. Now, overall, I know it creates a little bit of a panic in the general public, because they're thinking about, hey, everything is going to be unaffordable. Rates going to be very expensive, very high. But overall, historically speaking, interest rates are still very, very low. I mean, in the 1980s, they had 15%, 18%, very, very high interest rates. And then even though rates might be in the mid threes, high threes, who knows where it's going to end up, rates are still historically very, very low. Now, consider the alternative. What if we don't do anything, or let's say if you're in the market to buy a house, what if you don't buy it right now because you're just on the fence? Now, rents are going up no matter what. Okay, so whether the market is going up or down, rents historically speaking they go up. So just think about it. How much did you pay for rent, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? It's probably much higher right now than it was 5, 10 years ago, right? So if you keep on renting, then guaranteed that your payment is going to go up. But if you buy a home and you lock it into a 30-year mortgage, then your payment is going to be locked in for 30 years and your payment will not go up. Now, if you rent, then you will not be able to take advantage of the equity appreciation of the home that you might have. So that means that the forced appreciation that you would get from equity appreciation, you would not be able to take advantage. If you buy a home, then obviously it's like a forced savings to you, and you will have that money in the home. Now, we kind of have a little bit of a double problem, if you will, that interest rates are going up as well as home prices are also going to appreciate. So, kind of creates a little bit of a perfect storm, if you will. So, your purchasing power for next year is going to go down significantly because of the how home values are going to increase as well as the interest rates going to increase. Therefore, your purchasing power is going to be much less next year than is it today. So it would be smarter to go out find a house today, because for the same budget that you have right now, you're gonna be able to buy a much smaller house. And even though some of the areas like Los Angeles County, Orange counties, even some of the outskirts like Riverside, San Bernardino, are tough to find a house, which is still considered affordable. So that means that the same house is going to be much smaller. You're going to have to find a smaller house and a smaller budget, um, by next year. So overall, I suggest if you can afford a payment right now for a mortgage, I would really suggest to go buy the house right now, because the real estate market is very, very hot right now, and it's just gonna get even more expensive next year and so forth. So winter is a better time to buy a house. Obviously, spring is still better than summer as far as purchasing a home, because most people come out during the summer, and that creates a little bit more competition, so you have a better chance of finding a good deal and maybe less offer on the same house at winter time than as if you wait another 3 or 4 months for spring and summer. So that would be my advice. But of course, if you have any question, please feel free to give me a call. My direct number is area code 951-999-3366. My website is thehomebuyers.club. I have a lot more information there. I have videos for home buyers, sellers, interest rate I'm talking about, various subjects, and I keep updating it. So you know you can also go on there, search homes, looking at the interest rate scenario for you can search of what might be the payment and so forth. So there's a lot of good information. And also please like and subscribe to that if you've seen it on Facebook or YouTube, so my algorithm is going to be better. And overall, I hope you found this little bit of a video informational. And if you have any question, I'd love to help you out and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.